realms. We find our heroes in and around the area of Moonsea, which is kind of north-central Forgotten Realms, at least the known parts of it. Shortly after the Zentarum liberated and freed the town of Flan, before liberated, a pact was enacted between the town and the dark fae of the quivering forest to the north. In exchange for forbidding travel and logging in the forest, the fae pledged to protect Flan. The fae would later honor their part of the bargain and spare the town from destruction at the hand of the Netherese, a fate that the Zentil Keep and the Citadel of the Raven were less successful at avoiding. Meanwhile, rich and fertile lands along the Stonejaw River north of Flan have always been important as a source of food for the town. Farmers grow crops while doing their best in fending off the predations of wild beasts and other dangers that roam the unsettled wilds. They know that the only way Flan is to survive is if the people can eat. Each time in its history that Flan has been raised, the outlying farms suffered a similar fate. And eventually, just like the town itself, these outlying farms would rebuild anew. So these farms, in order to keep existing, must feed the town. In response to the dangers inherent in scratching out a living beyond the protective walls of Flan, the farmers built fortified hamlets at strategic locations along the river. Tiny communities where they can bring their grain for sale and transport, and shelter during times of strife. For instance, when trouble is afoot, they just go into their little walled hamlet and wait it out. One such place is Cobble's Hill, a tiny town where the Stonejaw River and the quivering forest come into close proximity. The community is little more than a wide space in the road, a stopping point on the way to various other places. Strange things are afoot in Cobble's Hill, however. Okay, so starting with Brandon, I'm going to ask you to introduce your character.
Sure, good morning. I'm playing Brandon Graywin, Human Fighter, level 1. Background on Brandon, he was born near Deepingdale, lost his parents at an early age, and he decided to go out and sell his services as a soldier. So his background is from a soldier, and he believes the best approach to anything is to face it head on, and if you're with an enemy, attack first and leave no element surprise. His weakness is that sometimes he likes to roll dice at the taverns.
All right, what's his AC?
AC will be 14.
14. And next, we'll hear from Delg. You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
I'm playing Delg Ironfist, a Mountain Dwarf fighter. His AC is 20, or level 4 fighter. AC is 20. He likes to, or he doesn't really pay attention to the rest. He likes to go headlong into battle. And what else you want to know?
That's good enough. Just a kind of a general idea. Next, we'll hear from Grenlock.
So Grenlock is a deep gnome. He comes from beneath the ground on the other side of the Moonsea near Molemaster in the Earthspur mountains, and he has recently come to the surface in search of gems and shiny, valuable things to take back home.
Okay, and your AC?
17.
What level are you?
I am level 2.
Okay. Now we'll hear from
yes.
Helos.
Nope.
Can't hear you. In the meantime, while he fixes that, we'll hear from Brickers.
Okay, so Brickers is a deep gnome as well, from underneath Molemaster. He's a rogue arcane trickster. who came to the surface in search of wealth that he wants to dedicate to winning the heart of a half-drow brigand dirty mercenary. His AC is 15.
Okay. AC is 15. And then, do we have Helos yet?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Well, we will let him troubleshoot that problem there, and we will get on with the story here. So, Brandon, you were going through your pack, and you found a note with your name on it. Delg, you were eating breakfast. You kind of dropped your fork, so you went underneath the table to pick it up. And when you got back up, there was a note on your plate that wasn't there before. It is addressed to you. Grenlock, you were drinking a mug of ale, finishing it up, and something clinked against your teeth. It is a coin stamped with your name and a message. Helos, you opened your coin purse to pay for a mug of ale and found a little note inside addressed to you. And Brickers, you were sitting by a window, and an upstairs window, and all of a sudden a crow came to the window and just started making all kinds of noise and tapping on the window, scratching and just flapping around, and tried to ignore it for a minute. It was persistent. Finally, you opened the window, crow hopped inside, and put forth its little crow claw, and there was a note held in the crow claw. So, each of you opens the message and reads it, and it says, "You are invited to a meeting at the Leaky Bucket in Cobble's Hill at 6 p.m. tomorrow for an important message on behalf of the Emerald Enclave. A boat upriver has been arranged for you at the docks." And it's it's morning time. You're due 6 p.m. tomorrow up at Cobble's Hill, and it usually takes about a day and a half to get there via boat. What would you guys like to do? First, I'd like to see if Helos is around yet.
He's got a little headphone sign, so he may have sound.
Any sound yet? Okay, so what would you guys like to do?
Right, so I made a note on the adventure log that before I actually venture out, I seek out a temple to remove a disease that I contracted in sewers, and then I purchase a spell component pouch.
Okay.
I am broke, so I'm not going to buy nothing.
Okay.
Guess I could buy a...
How much is it to take a boat there?
It's free. It's actually been arranged.
Oh, sweet!
Oh, hell yeah. We get on a
The
boat.
Emerald Enclave has arranged it. Apparently this is an important mission. Are there any members of the Emerald Enclave?
Yes, Brandon's a member, so he would finish his breakfast, grab his gear, and head towards the boat.
Grelnock is a member of the Emerald Enclave as well.
No, I'm a harper.
Okay. All right. Helos is having some audio difficulties, so we'll just have to have him type until he can get that trouble shot. These computers these days, you know how it is. So everybody goes down to the docks, and there is a boat there. There's a captain on board, kind of a short, squat guy. And when you guys approach, he says, "I'm taking no passengers." And then you hold up your notes. One of you holds up a coin, and he looks at it and says, "Oh, well, you're on the list." So you board the boat about 10 in the morning.
Is it just like a simple passenger boat, or can my mule come in with its guard?
He says, "No animals on board. Sorry."
Okay. I'll leave the mule behind in Flandern.
Okay. He says, I'll have a dock boy go put it at the stables. No charge. The Emerald Enclave will pick it up. We anticipated problems like this. So you guys hop on board the boat. It's stuffed with cargo. So you're going to have to sit on deck, which is not a problem. There's room on the deck. And you guys are pulling out away from the docks. And just as you're pulling out away from the docks, you see storm clouds brewing over the middle of Moonsea. And the storm blows in rather suddenly, bringing with it lots of rain and wind and really, really strong winds.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
There you go.
That little bubble.
Okay, sweet. So the storm blows in, really strong winds from the south blowing to the north, which is convenient for you because that's the direction you're traveling. Strange that it would blow in like this just as you're leaving, but it pushes you upriver very, very quickly. And you are so fast, in fact, that it cuts almost 24 hours off of your trip, which is kind of amazing. You guys were going right along, but you know, some of the cargo on deck washed over, these sorts of things. But you
This
arrive.
weather thing is awful. Nothing like this in the Underdark.
Mm-hmm. The wind is nice and stagnant there.
Yeah,
The thunder has blessed us.
yeah, he sure has.
You
So-
call that blessing? I'm wet.
Right. So, you pull up at the docks. Your boat comes in. One thing that's really noticeable right away is that for a town of this size, you would expect that there would be people around, you know, and the captain is kind of miffed because he's used to having somebody at the dock to, you know, toss a line or the boat and things like that, so you guys have to jump off and help. And he's kind of mad because he wants them to unload his stuff and nobody's around. Kind of in the distance, off to the west, coming from the direction of the Leaky Bucket, you hear some raised voices.
Can we see the source of those?
There's light coming from inside the Leaky Bucket, and the noises, the sound sounds like it's kind of coming from in there.
Is there anybody visible on the street?
Nobody. The entire town is empty. It doesn't sound like combat noises. It just sounds like, you know, some heated discussion taking place.
Oh, it's a party.
I speak to Grenlock in Undercommon. Shall we investigate?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We dash off.
Okay. So you guys, this is the party token. You guys can use that freely, but I'll just first time.
Keep on your head.
All right. So party shows up at the Leaky Bucket, and fix a couple things here for you. Still raining like crazy outside, but you hear heated discussions, and the inn sign, if it can be called that, is simply an old bucket dangling from a post that has been driven into the ground in front of a two-story building. The word inn has been painted on its side in what appears to be pitch. Rain has filled the
Classy.
bucket to the top, and water trickles out from more than a dozen places. Before you even enter the place, you can hear a number of excited and angry voices emanating from inside. Above,
Before we go in, can we tell what any of the people are saying or what the topic of this argument is?
yep, above them all, one voice is bellowing, "It's been over 10 days. What do you plan to do?"
Oh, so it's not like a fun party kind of voice.
They're not. It doesn't appear that they're going to be fighting. but they do appear to be somewhat heated about.
Sure.
It's not a good party festival.
Yeah, but this is the not fun kind of heated discussions.
Yeah, all of the people seem to be talking at once, gesturing and arguing with one another. A male halfling stands on one of the benches, seemingly trying in vain to calm everyone down. A female halfling stands next to him, shouting at everyone, including the other halfling, at the top of her lungs. Both of her hands wrapped menacingly around the handle of a rather large iron skillet. You guys want to go inside?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds like a fun place.
Okay. So, you guys walk through the door, and immediately everybody stops talking mid-sentence, and everybody kind of turns around and stares at you. It's like the record player stopping. Yep.
Wow, never seen a deep now.
1902.
Hello, everybody.
I go straight to the. Or is there an open spot at the tables?
Well, it's pretty crowded. It looks like pretty much the entire town is. So he jumps off of the thing, and he runs up and says, "Hello, my name is Hoop Brightbell, owner and proprietor of the Leaky Bucket. This is my wife, Brenna." And he points over. "How can I help you?"
We received a letter.
And he looks a little bit puzzled.
I pull out the note and show him.
Oh, he says, "Oh, yes, we'd heard you might be coming. But I think we more or less got it handled. We're just having a bit of trouble. Nothing to concern you fine folk about."
What
Well,
could-
we're already here.
He
Yeah.
says, "Oh, well, maybe you should talk to my wife, Grinna." And she walks up and says, "My name is Grinna. How are you? How can I help you?" She's got a cook's apron on. She's holding a cast iron skillet. She isn't menacing anymore. It's kind of more down by her side.
Maybe we should talk in private.
It seems like there is quite a hullabaloo going around here. What seems to be the excitement?
She says, 6 months ago, a man named Halvin Gringle moved into an abandoned barn a few hours' walk west of Cobbles Hill. He is a strange man. He mostly keeps to himself. We used to see him on a regular basis, probably about once a week. He'd come in, buy some supplies, and sell some wood carvings. He'd buy a meal here and then be on his way. A month ago, we stopped seeing him. We take care of each other in these parts because we have to. All sorts of things can happen to a person in the wild. So a few villagers went out to his place to see if he was okay, and there was no sign of him. However, the only thing they found besides his normal possessions was a crudely drawn map sitting on his kitchen table.
Map of what?
Well, we got to looking at that map. It mostly had the areas surrounding his place, but there were some parts in the quivering forest that were marked. And then
What?
this lady right here says, and that's not all. He marked Greenhall on the map. And Grinna pauses to let her interrupt and says, "May I continue?" The human female turns back to her plate kind of sheepishly. She says, "There were some other areas deeper in the forest marked as well. Entry into the forest is strictly forbidden by the pack. Everybody knows it. 'Tis what keeps Vanland safe, as we all know." And male villager sitting down this way, up to the bench, interrupts and says, "We don't go into the quivering forest, and the quivering forest doesn't come and steal our children at night."
Sounds like a fair trade.
That sounds like drow business to me.
It's the pack.
What? What is this pact? Tell me what you know about it.
Well, everyone knows that long, long ago, the elves and the fae of the Quivering Forest made a pact with the town of Flan, and the deal was that we wouldn't go into the forest and log it, and we would would stay out of there if they wouldn't come out here and bother us, and then occasionally they would render aid to the town itself.
And is... Oh, I'm sorry. Please continue.
Well, what happened was just then this drunk guy here interrupts, he burps and says, "It was probably those damn fairies that killed my cows, damn their wings." And a few of the villagers standing around him chuckle. They're kind of used to his shenanigans. He's kind of a storyteller and well-known as a drunk. And he says, "Any of you fools that don't believe me can come over and take a look for yourselves." He kind of harumphs and takes a big swig of his beer.
And these
Why would this?
marked on the map, Rain Hall, or what is this?
That is she says, well, I've never been there. Very few people have ever been there, but it is an elvish settlement within the forest, several days into the quivering forest. And the crowd is kind of misbehaving, and Grinna shoos the people who are just standing around out, and she shoos a couple other people away and tries to make room at the table for you. They're just sitting there taking up space. She doesn't like that.
Paying customers only.
That's right. The drunk guy is just kind of getting started. She knows that he brings money in, so she lets him stay. And Grinna says, "I'd have you stay for a free meal on the house to wash away all the mud and warm up by the fire." And she snaps her fingers over at a bard and says, "What the hell am I paying you for? Get busy." So he starts playing a little stuff for you for dinner music. And you sit down to eat, and she's got some help, and they go over to this pig roasting on the fire and carve off a big hunk of roast pork, big hunk, big, and puts it on a platter in the middle of the table. She's got herb roasted potatoes that she brings out, and some beans, several pitchers of mead, several pitchers of ale, and then she's got this fabulous cabbage soup that she brings out. Now you guys are just chowing down on this, and you see Hoop kind of quietly walking around with a hat and basically shaking it under people's noses. You know, you hear the clink of some coins every once in a while. You guys eat your fill. An hour or so passes. She brings out a fabulous bread pudding with raisins and dried currants, some sort of spice that you haven't had, and it's sweet and delicious. And of course, she has some sort of a alcoholic sauce that she pours over the top, and some wild berries from the forest. Everything was very satisfying, and up comes Hoop to the table, and he says, "Excuse me for a moment. Can I have a word with you fellas?"
Yes. Well, with me, I can't speak for the others. Yes.
I tend
Sure.
to.
He says, "Well, I've passed the hat, and all the villagers agree that we should ask you and offer you a reward to see if you would go in and find out what happened to the villagers and anything that you might find out about the woodworker." And he's kind of sheepish. He says, "There's 50 gold pieces in here for your troubles."
Each.
And he says, "We're not that wealthy. 50
Chunk of money.
To risk our lives?
Gems in there? Like
Well-
poke around a little bit in the hat.
You guys can do a charisma check, using persuasion or whatever charisma skill you're best at. want to try to persuade him.
No, I'm okay with this amount, but I would not be offended if my friends here wanted to try and get a little more.
Brandon, how'd you do?
I'm not even going to try. I don't have very good. But Brandon would probably be itching for any type of excitement, so he wouldn't argue with the cost.
Okay. Well, sadly, you guys were unable to convince him. He's crying. So, it is kind of hard times. He says, this is what I can offer you, but I'm sure you'll find more treasure along the way.
Just for clarity, you want us to go into the forest even though there's a pact?
Yeah, I thought we weren't supposed to go in the forest.
Where you're not supposed to, but it's already been violated. And if I were you, I would go talk to Sorellis. She is a half-elf that lives kind of on the edge of the forest. When we sent the villagers there, we stopped them at Sorellis' place to ask for help. And that was about 10 days ago, and unfortunately, nobody's heard hide nor hair of them since.
Let's go immediately.
Wait. I sense there's business to be done in this place. I walk to the drunk guy. What's this story with your killed cows?
He says,
Yeah.
I have 3 cows south of my house in the field, and I came back the other day and they were all 3 dead, and they're butchered.
Butchered? How?
You tell me. It was a botched job, if you ask me. It's like they were ripped apart.
I can't bring your cows back, but maybe I can find out who it was.
Well, that'd be great.
Are you familiar with any animals that may have attacked cattle around here in the past?
If you ask me, it was those dumb fae coming in from the forest.
If we stopped the attackers from ever coming back, would it be worth anything to you?
He says, sure, I'd be able to live. But I don't have any money besides what I spend on me beer.
If money's tight, you always got, the option of not beer.
Yeah, likely story. He's like, burp.
Hey, it's just a suggestion. I'm not saying you have to do it. The choice is there.
All right. So suddenly, the nervous buzz in the Leaky Bucket's common room is shattered by screams of terror. A heartbeat later, a young woman rushes into the room, and she bursts through the front door and she says, "They know!" And this place has got those old-style Wild West doors. She just slams them open. They slam into the wall. "They know what we did!" she cries, throwing herself at Grinna's feet and clawing madly at her clothes with one hand and pointing out the door with the other. And no sooner does she collapse than everybody else in the inn pushes out through the door and runs outside. And they're all running off towards the docks in that direction.
I will follow.
Okay. So,
How attractive is the lady that ran in?
scale of 1 to 2, she's a 2.
Nice. All right, I'll follow the crowd then.
Okay.
She's like bumpkin hot.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is still good. Still good.
Okay, give me just a second. Gotta do one.
Boys, let's carry her upstairs.
I'll protect you, little lady.
Let's get you out of these wet clothes. Okay, so you guys proceed outside, and a crowd is gathering over by a fountain next to Calvin's General Goods. walk over there?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, so you head over, and there's a man on the ground next to the fountain, kind of propped up against it, and he's bleeding. There's a big, huge, foot-long black carved hairpin, ornately carved hairpin sticking out of his chest, and pinning a note to his chest, and it's pretty disgusting, really. There's blood. He's kind of gurgling around the hole there. You can see he is still alive and breathing, but he's not conscious.
Can we stabilize him?
Well,
What is he bleeding from?
he's bleeding from a lot of different places. He's bleeding from his eyes, and on closer inspection, you see that his eyes have been plucked out and replaced by two black carved stones, and the stones are carved like the shape of an eye.
Oh my.
Ooh, this is pretty.
This sounds beyond what a cure wound would help. Am I right?
Not necessarily. He's unconscious but still alive.
What does the note say?
And the
I'll
villagers-
use my medical kit on him.
Uh-huh.
On the healer's kit.
Okay.
I cast Mage Hand not to get myself dirty in blood and remove the pin and the note from him using that.
Okay.
That's thinking your head right there.
Okay, so if you would go ahead and make a medicine check, removing the pin.
Okay.
Before you do that, I will cast guidance
16.
on him.
No, you did pretty well.
16.
Yeah, good enough. You pull it out, and the mage hand deftly pulls the pin out and then plugs the hole with its little mage pinky. And Helos walks over and manages to stabilize the guy. I assume you're not doing healing on him, just stabilizing him, or...
Yeah.
Okay, so...
Yeah, medical kit.
Okay.
Or healer's kit.
Okay, so he's stabilized, but unconscious. And floating in the air is a hand with a pin with a note stuck to it, and a few drops of blood are dripping from it.
Okay, what does the note say?
Okay, so you bring the note over, and the note says, it's like a little parchment thing. Cobble's Hill honors the long-standing truce between the people of Flan and the people of the Quivering Forest. We seek only to retrieve a lost friend who does not fully understand what his trespasses signify. And as you're reading it, a couple of the villagers were reading over your shoulder, and they said, "Ah, that's the note that we sent with them, and this is Rourke. He was one of the people we sent into the forest."
Huh. Yeah.
Quite
What
the-
about the pin? Does that hold any significance to you?
The pin, let me see if they know here. They say, well, the pin doesn't necessarily mean anything, but the stones in the eyes are the sigil of a hag that lives in the Quivering Forest, Jenny Greenteeth.
What's her name?
Huh?
Jenny Greenteeth?
Jenny Greenteeth.
Do I recognize that name? I'm gonna be
Do a history
Yeah.
check.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah, so you remember that Jenny Greenteeth was one of the Fae that entered into the original pact with Flan in 1380 DR.
That's good.
Well, I don't think she's friendly anymore, so
No.
I wonder how
so
this
kick her
pact
ass.
is going. How long this pact is gonna last?
I wonder if she's trying to destroy it.
It's getting darker and darker out. some of the villagers quickly whisk poor Rourke away to a house to get him out of the rain and cold, and the crowd kind of dissipates from there. It's getting darker. It's about 8 p.m.
So we can go to sleep, or we can. What is else? We have.
Well, we can explore the farms to see the murdered cattle, or we can
cows,
or the half elf.
The half elf. Yeah.
Well, some of us don't mind the dark, right?
Yeah, and also on top of that, Poop says, well, the other thing you could do is go check out what happened to the woodworker.
Wow, the one that went into the forest, the one that started all this shit.
Maybe you can find something at his farm.
Is his farm distant from the drunkard's farm?
The drunkard burps and says, no, he's about a half a mile away.
Oh, we can do that both.
Yeah, we could do both.
Yeah. Now, do we want to do it tonight, or do we want to do it tomorrow?
Let's do it tonight.
Let's go.
I'd like to ask the drunkard, is there a pattern with the attacks on your cattle? Like, do they happen at night?
It just happened. I got up this morning, kind of late, and I went out to go check on them, and they were all 3 slaughtered.
So these just happened one time? It's not a pattern. Okay.
Yeah, let's go check out both farms, and then after that, let's go kick a hag's ass.
And he says, you're coming with me first, right, drunkard?
Oh, I thought that was the girl that was rated a 2. Take her with us.
Oh, she she's off tending to her husband with no eyes and a hole in his chest.
Well, if the attack happened at night, it's probably best if we go at night to see if it happens again.
Yeah.
That's smart thinking.
Yeah.
Okay, so the party decides to set off. Your map should switch here. And here's kind of a general overview of the area. The Stonejaw River, or Stojaw, it's such a hard name. You have to make fantasy names like impossible to say. It runs north and south. Cobble's Hill is a little walled, fort with a dozen buildings or so on the edge of it, and then there are farms scattered through the area. The drunkard's farm is up here, about a 3-hour walk west. You guys are plodding along this tiny road through the forest. It's kind of muddy, raining like crazy, all this terrible stuff.
A dark and stormy night.
It was a dark and stormy night. Let's see. So, you guys pull up at the drunkard's farm, and he leads you down. You can use Alt and your middle wheel button to zoom in and out. Of course, he stops in the house first to grab a bottle, then he stands on top of a pile of rocks and says, "See, there they are." And let's see. 3 cows lay piled near some scrub brushes that surround a large outcropping of rock too big to remove from the farmer's field. Each in various stages of butchery, they have all been torn open, and it's obvious that large portions of the carcasses are gone, having been carved off with a knife. Despite it being dark, a single carrion bird flies off, squawking at your arrival, pretty angry that you've showed up and disrupted his meal. After all, it is pretty dangerous for a bird to be out after dark. There's owls, vampire bats and stuff. Who knows what else?
What direction is it going?
Oh, it just flew off to the south. Doesn't
Is there any, like a blood trace leading off the corpses?
Looking around, you could do a perception check to see if you see anything like that.
I shall do that.
And I will give guidance.
Okay. Well, you were very easily able to pick up some little clawed animal tracks in all of this, leading down and kind of southeast into the woods. This isn't the quivering forest yet. This is still kind of on the edge there.
I'll ask the drunkard. What do you know what goes or what would be in those woods or on the other side of those woods? Or?
He says that's the way to Halvin's, the woodworker's place.
Ah.
Let's follow the trace.
Okay. So it doesn't take long, although you're walking along and everybody's watching Brickers do this, and every once in a while, a few of you think that the tracks are no more, but Brickers will stop and he'll make a kind of a circle, and then a wider circle, and then eventually find up a little bit more trail, and then track for some more, and this goes on. Takes about another hour. Around midnight, you guys emerge from the woods to see this here. There's a farmhouse and a barn. The approach to the farmhouse leads you into a small hollow within a copse of trees, right on the edge of the forest proper. The house has definitely seen better days, as evidenced by the loose boards and shingles, the peeling whitewash, and a handful of stones that have fallen from the leaning chimney. A small barn around in the back leans even more, and vines have grown up to cover most of it.
It's quaint.
Odd place.
It's like base of operations.
Are there any lights? We don't see, or any smoke coming from the chimney?
Nothing. You guys want to go inside and check on it, or?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys, the door wasn't locked. You head inside, and inside there's a table and a chair, a bed, a little chest that's empty. There's a bottle that looks like it once contained alcohol. It's somehow empty. Being in close proximity to the other farm, maybe there's a reason. There's a cupboard, and in the fireplace, it's long ago forgotten ashes, long burnt out.
Can I have a scoop around to see if there's anything of value?
Sure. Where would you like to look? There's a cupboard, the bed, chest. Just places.
Around the bed area, and then follow to the cupboard.
Okay.
I'll check out the chest.
Okay. Go ahead and anyone who's going to look into the place, go ahead and roll a perception check.
18.
Perception or investigation?
Oh, either. I don't care. Whatever you're better at.
Could I get guidance as well?
I guide you. Know when to hold them, know when to fold them. That is my guidance.
Ooh. Wow. Okay. Well, you guys pretty much tossed the place. But when you were looking through the cupboard, kind of in the back of the cupboard, obscured by an old moth-eaten cloak, you push the cloak aside, and you can see that the wood is a little bit different in that area. And you press on it, and a panel slides out. And behind the panel, there's a small, ornate silver box with the likeness of a dragon head etched into the lid.
Ooh.
Is it locked?
Nope.
Right. What's inside?
Okay, so you bring it out to the table and you open it, and everybody's standing around. You open it, and it's like that scene in Pulp Fiction where they open the briefcase and it glows gold.
Glows.
And inside the box, there's a pouch of 15 gold pieces.
Ooh.
Small garnet. There also just happens to be a diary with the head of a dragon embossed on it.
Nice.
Why would a farmer have a dragon on his diary? What's inside?
Want to spend 10 minutes reading it?
Yeah.
That's a lot of coin for a farmer.
Okay.
Do
Well,
is this a symbol that we might recognize? That I mean, is it
have you seen,
a coat of arms?
has your character ever interacted with the cult of the dragon?
Yes.
No.
No.
Well, those who say yes, that's a symbol you're familiar with. You can spread that information to the rest of the party if you wish. So you spend about 10 minutes studying the diary. Most of it's just kind of cryptic notes and sketches and maps of the area around the place. Then you're able to figure out that Halvin was sent to Flan to treat with the Fae of the Quivering Forest, specifically to convince the Fae to break their pact with the town of Flan and sit idle while the cult of the dragon plunders it. He had been sending letters and gifts to the elves and Fae of the forest, but to no avail. Either his messages were not being received or they were being ignored. After months of no progress in obtaining permission to enter the forest, he simply ran out of patience and decided to enter the forest on his own and visit them personally. He knew that Greenhall was the closest thing to an elvish establishment in this part of the forest, and he had a general idea of where he might find the hag Jenny Greenteeth. There's another little note on one of the pages where he's kind of bitching about his familiar who wouldn't go with him into the forest because he was too scared.
It's familiar.
That's what it said.
Okay.
I don't think this is an ordinary woodworker.
I don't think so. either.
Apparently not so.
Okay.
I'm gonna go outside and see if the blood traces are leading off somewhere around this area.
Okay, so the blood traces actually lead over to the open barn doors, and as you're approaching, you hear some snoring coming from inside.
Ooh. We should investigate this.
I signal to the party to stay back, and I stealth in.
Okay.
Ooh, I'll sneak in too.
Okay. So you guys sneak in, and
Oh.
Oops.
the snoring grows louder as you round a large pile of bouldering hay neatly baled and stacked in the rear of the barn. Asleep on the pile of hay is a small, scaled creature with leathery wings and a grossly distended belly. Resting on his back, his swollen belly heaves up and down in concert with his labored snoring. Suddenly, his snoring becomes loud and ragged, and after a few choking coughs, the creature jerks awake and props himself up on an elbow, rubbing an eye with a fist while errant strands of hay cling to the side of his face. What time is it?
It's hammer time.
What is it?
I cast message so he can only hear me in his head.
Okay.
It's still time to sleep. Close your eyes.
And he, out loud, says, what are you guys doing here? Have you seen Calvin? Did he send you?
No.
Maybe.
Nope.
No.
Where is Halvin?
Oh, he's dumb. He went up into the forest. I told him not to go. That's just stupid.
You're his familiar.
Well, I'm his friend. And I guess you'd call me familiar with him.
Do I know what kind of creature he is?
It's an imp of some sort, about a foot tall with little leathery wings.
Aw.
There's blood.
What?
racing towards this barn. Would you have something to do with it?
Well, yeah, of course I did. Imp's gotta eat.
You ate 3 cows?
Yeah, and he's got a burlap bag next to him, and he opens it up and pulls out a hunk of semi-rotten meat and says, "It's delicious. You want some?"
No thank you. I've eaten.
So he kind of burps and farts a little bit and scratches, and he says, "Well, what can I do for you?"
What can you tell us about your friend?
Oh, he's a traveling man, been all around the world.
Okay. That all?
Oh, he's pretty nice, but he's pretty stupid. I hope he comes back.
So why is it stupid to go into the forest?
Well, even an imp knows not to cross a hag.
How do you know about the hag?
Everybody knows about Jenny Greenteeth. She's Fae, after all.
You're not.
Yeah, I'm an imp.
Just for the interest of future good relations between yourself and the people of this fine village, could you not slaughter older cows?
He says, well, what am I going to do for food? And plus, those damn cows deserve it. They're always farting and mooing all the time and waking me up.
How were you getting your food before?
Well, Halvin would get me some food every now and again. We'd go into town occasionally.
Could you not seek out a...
Perhaps if we find Halvin again, then he would be able to provide you with some more food. Maybe even better food that you wouldn't have to slaughter yourself.
Well, I wish you would find him.
Do you serve spellcasters?
Just Halvin.
What if he's dead?
Well, I don't know.
That would make you a free elf. Imp!
Well, yeah, I'm not going back to where I came from, I'll tell you that. It sucks down there. Who wouldn't want to live up here? There's no way
Why
I'm
won't...
going back.
Why won't you find yourself a new wizard?
I think Halvin's a good master. He always gives me lots of food, and I kind of like him. We've been together a long time.
Would you be willing to help us in our attempt to find Halvin?
He says, geez, I don't know. You could do a persuasion check. See if you can persuade him.
Yeah, sure. I'm rolling old school dice here. Oh, and I got a 1, so.
He's like, yeah, I'm not.
What talents have you got?
He whips out a little folding knife and cuts off a little piece of meat, and he says, "Want some meat?" And he kind of laughs.
So
apparently, that's like imp humor.
So you're a decent butcher. Maybe you could be an apprentice in the village?
Maybe. I'll think about it.
I'm sure you could earn your food that way.
He doesn't seem interested.
Or, if you continue to butcher the cows, we might expose your escapades to the rest of the town. I don't think that you would want to have an angry mob after you simply for a poorly slaughtered bit of cow, would you?
Well, I tell you what, I'll lay off of his cows. If I find any other ones, though, I might sneak them. I'll be better next time. Won't leave a
Not
trail.
all of them at once, no.
Yeah, I'll kill what I need. I saw them and I just put some there. Plus they deserve it.
We deserved it.
Were they bad cows?
Yes. They had impure thoughts and leave behind
Okay. I guess that's all we need to know, huh?
So you sure you don't want to come with us? I'll give you some food.
Oh, hey. And if you offer, he make it an advantage.
He said it's a persuasion check. Let me see. Here, I'm not very good at these. So I got a 10.
No. Iron rashes suck balls.
Yeah.
Do I have anything for him? It's from your character sheet.
Yep.
At any rate, he doesn't seem like he wants to go. What would you guys like to do? It's about 1 in the morning or thereabouts.
We should sleep. I'm kind of tired.
Okay.
Do we want to retire in this guy's place?
Yep, the party sleeps
That's fair.
overnight in the cabin, wakes up bright and early the next morning. Pip is nowhere to be found, and sun comes up, but is obscured behind rain clouds that continue to blow. What would you guys like to do? About
Did we
9
search
in
the
morning.
barn?
Let's see.
Oh, I don't think we did.
No, not the barn.
There's a small hoard of trinkets that he's found, that Pip Yap has found, and there's a burlap sack that he hid under a pile of cow crap. It has 10 gold pieces and various coins,
Nice.
a bone
Nice.
comb worth 5 gold pieces, and a scroll
Nice.
of chromatic orb.
Oh, I can't use it.
It's not on my spell list, so I can't use it either.
Okay, so
But maybe we could find somebody that can use it.
Yeah.
magic items are always tradable.
Mm-hmm.
What would you guys like to do?
So we can check out the half-elf's house.
The villagers
Save
gave you
us.
some rough directions on how to get there. Probably another hour's walk from here or so.
It's not too far.
Let's do it.
Okay. So, continues raining. Party walks for a while. I'm going to have to zoom in here a little bit. And use some tokens that aren't going to be used. So, one guy who had a character, his name was Non. So I made him like a little non-bread. I wish he would have showed.
No.
Okay. So, let's see here. I have to find this narrative here. Okay, the narrow, twisting path that opens at last into a small glade, where a picturesque babbling stream tumbles past a cabin built of natural timbers and an ornate roof. The construction is actually much better than what you've seen in this area. Almost elvish, a little bit more like half elvish. The only sign of current occupancy is a small garden along one side of the cabin with a number of herbs and vegetables growing in neat rows, watched over by a scarecrow. The idyllic garden is being tended by a half-elf female. Noticing your approach, she stops working, props her elbow on the end of a shovel, and says, "I take it they haven't returned yet." with a note of concern in her voice.
They who?
They.
Well, 10 days ago, some residents of Cobbles Hill came and asked me to lead them into the quivering forest. I told them absolutely not to do that, and I gave them a few things. Let's go inside and have some tea and get out of this rain, if you would. She goes over and beckons you over to the table. There's a nice warm fire and all those sorts of things.
Yeah.
Head
I'll go
on
in.
Okay.
Have a seat by the fire.
And she brings out some cider and pronounces it her life's work. You take a sip, and of course it is absolutely delicious. Now, you guys talk for a bit, and she mentions that she gave each of them a sword, a good cloak, 10 days worth of rations, and she warned them not to go in the woods because nothing would result but tragedy for them. Clearly these were not seasoned adventurers, and they had no training. And you get the sense through talking with her that she's fairly upset that she sent them. You get the sense that she probably could have helped them quite a bit, being familiar with the forest.
So, what do you know about what they were walking into?
Well,
in the woods?
there's all sorts of things in the quivering forest. There's pixies, there's other fae, there's...
Jenny Greenteeth.
She kind of gets a shudder when you say that. She says, "Oh, such a den of malevolent evil." And she kind of shudders when you say that. She says, "Yes, that."
But-
and there are all sorts of dangers in that forest.
Like what?
But she kept to the pact, though, right?
Sorella says, "Well, my understanding is that if the villagers went in there, they were in fact breaking the pact."
Well, would the pact not have...
One of the villagers came back.
Oh, yeah, really?
Mm-hmm.
Do tell.
in a sorry state?
It wasn't pretty.
Oh boy, she's. You kind of see that she's wanting a little bit of elaboration.
There was a pin attached to him.
Really?
It was more attached to his insides, though. It was like
Like nails with it.
What pin are you talking about?
it was in there pretty good. Hairpin.
One of you has it.
Yeah, show her.
Rickers probably has it.
Yeah, I pull it out and show her.
She goes, "Oh my God, that's Jenny Greenteeth's pin. I've seen her with that before. She wears it in her disgusting matted hair."
Is it bad that we have it?
She says, "Nothing good can come of having a hag's possessions."
We should return it. I'll peek in her nose.
I
Says, "I wish
stash
you
it back
wouldn't
in my
go
sack.
into the forest. It's very dangerous."
What sorts of dangers are there?
Things you can't even imagine. She's being somewhat cryptic.
Pragmatic.
Trust me, I come from the Underdark. The things that you can't imagine, well, they're on a daily basis.
She says, "Well, there are ghosts. And she goes through a big, huge litany of things that probably don't scare the people from the Underdark, but sound pretty scary to everybody else."
So, what would you imagine? You sound like you know a lot about this Jenny. What do you think she would do if the pact were broken?
He says, I don't know. But if the pact is broken, perhaps she could be convinced to re-honor the pact. I don't know.
Yeah.
Where could we find Jenny in that forest if we were to re-establish the pact?
She lives west and a little north of Greenhall. In a swampy area. You guys want to try to enlist her help?
Yeah, Delk's written a question in the chat.
Okay. Is there anything you can give us to prepare for an encounter with the hag? And she says, well, you seem pretty well equipped, and you get the sense from her that she wishes she had accompanied the original party into the forest, but you haven't asked her.
You should come with us and guide us, and then we won't follow the same fate as the other villagers.
Just you can try to make a case for it and roll a check. Let's see, persuasion.
I'll guide you.
Okay, she's convinced.
Sweet.
And just as she's convinced, there's an enormous bang at the door, and the cabin shudders as something slams into it. It happens again a heartbeat bit later, and the door bursts from its hinges, falling flat on the floor. And laying on top of the door was a man-sized pile of straw and burlap, and it stands up, and it has a jagged tear across its face, twisted in a malevolent sneer. And almost at the same time, some windows of the cabin burst open, and in pops these bundles of twigs that are shaped somewhat like men, or little semblances of men.
What in tarnations are these things?
Well,
like
you're about
this.
to find out. So let's roll initiative, starting with Brandon.
Okay. Oh man, not good. With my bonus, I got a 6.
Okay, next it'd be Delg.
Got a 7.
Okay, and
Not much better.
yep, Grenlock.
Nope. 16.
All right, and Helos
4.
and Brickers. Oh,
Nice.
okay. All right.
Sweet.
Let me just prepare for 2 seconds here.
Take your time. I'll be sitting around here for a while.
Okay, first to act is Brickers.
Okie dokie. Just give me a second. Save, there we go. Yes, okay. I am going to move up here. Can I?
Yes.
Yeah.
Close
Or will
with
I
the scarecrow.
Yes. Delga is right next to me, so I would get sneak attack bonus for this attack, wouldn't I?
Yes.
Okay, so I am going to attack it with my rapier.
Okay.
Where's my thing?
Okay. So you got advantage on that. And
I don't think I have advantage. It's just a regular attack.
okay. So you got a
9, so it's a miss, I guess.
Yep. So you take your little rapier and you do some fancy footwork, and it goes right past it, and a miss. Anything else you want to do for the turn?
Let's see what I have. Cunning action. No, that's fine.
Next to act would be Grenlock.
So Grelnock will get his whip out.
Okay.
He unfurls a whip. He will lash out at the scarecrow.
What's the range on that?
It's reach 10.
Okay. Yeah, that's far enough. So. The whip is
Again, AC and 9. Ugh.
Yeah, it like cracks in the air above his head, and this gash across his face widens a little bit as you see he's kind of like that. And what you guys saw was like a 3-foot tall dude with a 10-foot whip, like over 3.5 times as long as the gnome is tall. So responding to all of this, the scarecrow lifts its claws, and it's got these kind of crude rakes attached to its arms, and it attempts to dig them into delve, both of them, and one missed, and the other was I'll just tell you what it is in case you can do something. It is a 21.
I'm gonna use Repetos on it. Oh wait, no, never mind. I can't do that.
Okay.
Oh wait, yeah, actually, because he missed the first attack, I'm gonna Repetos on him.
Okay. What does that do for you?
Because I get a free attack on him.
Okay.
Counter attacks.
Before you do that, I need you to make because you were hit, make a DC 11 Wisdom saving throw. Okay, so despite the fact that this scarecrow thing's just sunk a rake into the side of your neck, doing 6 points of damage, you're not scared. You're not scared at all. Okay, now your
Might be scared, bro.
Yeah.
I'm scared for you.
Okay. What's your attack is 8, so your attack missed, so you were scared enough to miss. Whipped over his head. Next to act, these shapes of sticks shaped like men. One rushes down to Brandon and
No, Brandon, no.
takes its sort of claws and manages a 14 versus your AC.
Not a hit.
Okay, and it got you pretty good, tearing a little gash in your shoulder for 6 points of damage.
Okay.
Okay. This the northernmost stick man runs down to Grenlock
No, not me.
and attempts the same thing, and that would almost certainly be a hit. It is a +3 to hit, and so his total would be a 23.
I will allow that. I will allow it.
Okay, so you're succumbing to another 6 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
Now, the twig-looking guy in the southeast corner of the room holds up one of his hands, and some needles shoot out of it at Helos. And they would be 19 versus AC.
AC is 18, so that is a hit.
Okay, so I'm going to roll it because these kind of hurt. So you would take a total of 7 points of damage.
Ow.
And this final man over here engages into combat with Sorellis. Appears to be handling it quite well. Next to act is Delg.
I'm going to attack the main scarecrow.
Okay.
Let me use Action Surge.
Okay.
$14 hit,
Oh yeah.
7 points of damage.
Okay.
And then
Finally.
second attack. 9 hit.
9. Sadly, what weapon are you using?
Warhammer.
Yeah, that Warhammer unfortunately kind of whiffs by his head on the second one. It crunches into him the first time, and you see some of the straw kind of bend, and it doesn't appear to have done quite the amount of damage that you thought it would.
Oh, that's not good. I'm gonna... I'm gonna do nothing else then.
Okay. The room is getting warmer as the fire blazes just in the fireplace. It seems to have kicked up in response to all the excitement. Next to act is Brandon.
Okay, I'm going to engage the one that attacked me with my short sword.
North of you there.
Let's see, it'll be 23 versus AC.
That's a hit.
Damage will be 4 piercing.
Okay. A few twigs break off.
And then I'll stand my ground. I'm not going to move.
Okay. And finally, Helos is to act.
All right. Pokey Helos is...
Helos, burn them!
Yeah, that's a good call. Actually, I'm going to start out by casting... I'm going to cast Shield of Faith, which is a bonus action on... Let's go with Delg. So that gives him +2 armor class while I'm concentrating.
Okay.
And that's a bonus. And then, is there a log or something that I could
Yes.
pull out of fire's weapon? All right, I'm going to do so and take a swing at Mr. Scarecrow.
Okay. You'll have to close within range or about your...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so if you just want to move your token over by him. And you've got a flaming brand, which would be an improvised weapon. The damage of that would be 1d4, and it's really flaming, so I'm going to say that it would do an additional 1d6 of fire damage.
Alright, so let's see, I would not get a proficiency with that. So rolled a 17,
That's a hit.
and it does a total of 6 damage.
How much was the
Oh.
bludgeoning?
1 was bludgeoning, 5 was fire.
Okay. So, actually, this appears to have been enormously effective. Scarecrow catches on fire, briefly pats himself out, and appears to be very, very upset by that. Next to
Great.
act
Thanks,
is
Skip.
Brickers.
Okay, I stab at the scarecrow again.
Okay.
Woohoo!
Ah, yes.
Great.
Enormously effective stab with your rapier. Went straight for his nutsack.
So that's 28 damage altogether.
Okay, so it parted the area which would serve as the Scarecrow's nutsack, and all of the straw fell out onto the ground and he expired.
Hey!
Huzzah!
Anything else you'd like to do?
I'll move up to this guy.
The northernmost needle man or Twig Man. Okay. Next to act is Grelnock.
So Grelnock is going to whip the dude in front of him. Is Brandon close enough to him to be
Yeah.
good for sticking there?
You need a smaller whip.
Stay alive. I'm done.
As much as you do.
Ooh, actually, I want to do that. Yes, I'm going to use my second wind. Heal all my hit points back.
Okay. Yeah, you guys see this, he goes to whip this thing and it like wraps around his little gnome feet and it doesn't even make the satisfying crack sound.
This is like,
Yeah, it's just like that. Okay, so the Twig Men to the north of Brickers and Brandon takes his claw hand and swings over at Brickers there. The total of his roll would be a 13. Is that good enough?
That misses.
Okay, and it just right by your head. The one which has been engaged with Grenlock, you kind of see it chuckle, but it's like sounds like twigs rubbing together, but you get the idea.
you can keep laughing. I'm going to get you.
He
I will
swings
show
his
you.
clawy hand at you for a total of 19 to hit.
I'll allow it.
Okay, so you would take 6 points of piercing damage from that.
Alright.
Okay. The next one to act is engaged with Sorellis, and she seems to be handling it well. She's a little bloodied, but she's very skilled at what she does, and she's handling it pretty well. This guy back in the southeast corner takes his little arm up, and needles shoot out of it again, this time again towards Grenlock.
Mm-hmm.
But they pass harmlessly by you. Some of them stick in the ceiling.
That's what I meant to happen.
Yeah, I meant for that. Next to act is Delg.
Can I make it to the one fighting the half-elf chick? Can't really see how many.
Yeah,
that is.
you could. She seems to have it pretty well handled.
Okay, then I'm gonna go after the one to the south.
Okay. Keeps needling you guys.
Yeah, I don't like the needling. I'm going to. Yeah, I'm gonna attack it. Hopefully, I succeed.
All right.
Hey! Wait, hang on.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So your warhammer just slammed into this thing.
Do I roll another
You would roll what's your damage dice that you roll?
D8?
So you would roll
So
2d8 and then add your damage bonus to one of those dice.
So 6 points of damage total, and then I'm gonna shove him against the wall because I got the shield master feat.
Okay. He plops back against the wall, and you were so effective at that that he takes some bludgeoning damage from hitting the wall for an additional 4. This thing looks pretty well beat up at this point. Like most of its sticks are coming unraveled. Next to act is Brandon.
Okay, I'll engage the one again in front of me with short sword. Oh no, let's see. 7 versus AC. Right over the top.
The wind in the room just... You guys hear it a mile away.
It sounded like that whip.
Yeah, exactly. Next to act is Helos.
All right. Is anybody particularly bloodied at this point?
No.
I'm down half. I'm down half to where I need to be.
Okay. So, could I get between them and reach this fella?
Oh yeah.
The fellow north
no
of.
problem.
All right. I will move there and take a swing at using my flaming log. And I will miss. I will swing with get an 8 to hit.
Okay, and he doesn't seem particularly scared about the fire. His twigs are all wet and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of laughs at you again. Anything else?
I'll just keep concentrating on Delg's shield.
Okay.
The shield of faith.
Okay. Next person to act is Brickers.
Okay, stabbing at the twig thing.
Uh-huh.
No.
Yeah, and you stab and it kind of goes through some twigs harmlessly. Next to act is
Hang on. I'm gonna use bonus action to disengage
Okay.
and move over here.
Okay. Next to act is Grelnock.
Grelnock will again whip out at the dude that's attacking.
He's winding up.
Die! Yay!
Crack echoes off the stone walls.
So he takes 11 damage.
And as a matter of fact, it was such a resounding whack that the twig guy falls apart. And
Nice.
is no more.
Yay!
Yay. Okay, let's see, who's acting next? So, next, the Twiggy guys act. The one north of Brandon takes a little swing with his claw at Brandon for a 17 to hit.
That hits.
And let's see here, how much, I'm going to roll the damage, so hopefully you'll get less than the average. Let's see. 7 points of damage.
That's gonna knock me out. I'm down to 0.
Oh no!
Okay. So, Brandon goes unconscious. The twig bite in the corner here, having been knocked back away from Delg, has a little bit of distance, raises his little needle arm, and shoots some needles right into Delg's face, and it actually crits. Nat 20. Sorry about that. So you've got some sauce coming your way here. 11 points of damage.
Well, that's not as bad as it could have been.
And this one is battling back and forth with Sorellis, and she lands a blow that fells it.
Hey!
Next to act is Delg, pulling needles out of his face and things like this.
I'm going to shove his ass against the wall again.
Okay.
For 7 points of damage.
All right.
And I shove him back against the wall.
Yeah, and that the crash is such a horrendous crash that the thing disintegrates against the wall. Gonna do anything else?
And then I'm gonna run up here. Try and get in that guy's face.
Okay.
And that's it.
Okay. Brandon gets to make a death save.
Okay. 14.
Okay, so you have
Yeah.
one success.
Okay.
Yep. Next to act is Helos.
All right. Hebos will cast Cure Wounds on Brandon. And that will give him 11 points back.
Okay, thank you.
So Brandon pops up and is momentarily confused by the surroundings, what's going on. Feels like he's been drinking all night. Next to act is Brickers.
Okay, I move back in and stab at the twig.
Okay. And that would be a hit.
Hey, sneak damage.
Yep. And this blow was a mighty blow, and the twigs all fall apart all over the floor.
Yay!
Huzzah!
And Sorella says, I need an hour to gather my things. Rest up. I'm not hurt. But we need to get the heck out of here and get on with our business.
Do you get attacked by your scarecrows very often?
No, clearly that was some sort of evil thing. And furthermore, I have not seen it rain this long in a very, very long time. There is something afoot here.
I will be right back.
Okay, bio break for everyone, and then we will go to the forest.
I'm leaving.
Hey, Kyle, you said we were going to take a short rest on the group. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay. Well,
She suggests that you take a short rest.
okay, I'm going to use that and go ahead and regain. I only need one more hit point to get back to max, so I'll go ahead and use that.
Okay. Bio break, everyone. Back in a couple minutes.
Doug, I have the healer's feat, so I can use my healer's kit to give you a few hit points back prior to the short rest. You let me.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, let me just pull it up here. Okay, that gives you. Are you first level?
I'm fourth.
Fourth. Okay. Oh, sweet. So I'll give you 13 hit points back.
Ooh, nice. Thank you, sir.
And for what's worth, I'm down to one spell slot left before the next long rest.
Yeah, we should definitely save that.
Yeah, that healer's feat comes in handy.
Yeah.
What class is it, everyone? I see that Brandon's a fighter.
I'm a life cleric.
Oh, nice.
Is that level 1?
Me, I'm level 2.
Okay, who's back? I
think
see
we're all back.
Grenlock, Helos, and Brickers.
Yeah, I'm back.
I'm back too.
Okay. So, you guys depart. As it turns out, Sorellis' cabin was right on the edge of the forest, and she leads you behind the forest to a small trail. And she's able to basically negotiate the trail pretty well. The crazy thing is that the canopy is so thick overhead that you can hear wind, but very little rain actually makes it down to the forest floor. So essentially it's more or less dry there. And you travel for a while. During the first couple hours of travel, you see that there's evidence of logging that had happened long ago, but that the trees are smaller and skinnier. To you, this looks like a normal forest because you haven't probably been in any primal or primary forests before. But after a couple hours goes by on the trail, you notice that the trees are getting much bigger. And the canopy becomes even darker overhead. The trees are massive at the base. Some of them, big enough that you could easily carve a small house inside of them. The terrain is pretty easy going because she's able to pick out a route pretty well. But there's about 6 inches of clinging fog at your ankles. It doesn't obscure anything, but it's just there's fog on the forest floor. Every once in a while it'll hide like a small rock or something into the trip. Doesn't seem to be causing you major problems. You guys pass under a tree with a somewhat low-hanging branch, and you're able to see a squirrel, which is unusual. You haven't really seen many squirrels lately. And the thing starts like flipping out at you. Looks angry at you. And it's cursing at you. And it finds a nut, and it tosses this nut at Delg, and it kind of bounces off of his helmet harmlessly. The squirrel runs up the tree and disappears. And Sorellis said, "See what I mean about the forest? Sometimes even the animals that are harmless are against you." And you continue to walk, and you go a little ways longer, and a whole bunch of crows you hear in the trees overhead. Just tons and tons of crows just making all this racket, and they start swooping down on the party. And one of them swoops down, and you're pretty sure it was on purpose, Brandon, because it aimed a big, huge white crow turd directly at your face, and splat, gets on your armor and things. But eventually, not a whole lot of harm was done, and they fly off. And you walk, and it starts to get into late afternoon, and you notice the forest changes even a little bit more. It's getting darker. It's getting a little bit creepier. Delg protects himself with his shield. Nice. You haven't seen many additional squirrels or anything like that. Let's see. Yeah, and that's pretty much it's widely considered good luck to be pooped on by a bird. Although it happened one time in college. One of my friends, he was my next door neighbor all 4 years because I was a dork and lived in the same dorm room all 4 years. He was my next door neighbor all 4 years. He ended up being a writer for Saturday Night Live, but he fancied himself Google that shit. His name is Tom Flanagan. He was a writer for them for a while. But anyway, we were outside the dorms, and this girl I knew from high school stopped over to visit, and he fancied himself a ladies' man, and we were outside, and he was kind of chatting her up, and a bird flew by and shit on his head. It was funny. She laughed at it. But at any rate, the wind dies down and stops blowing, and all of a sudden, you're walking along, and it's deathly silent. And
I try to look out for danger.
Yep, Jenny's kind of looking around too, and it's so quiet that you can hear your heart beating, and you guys just somewhere off in the distance. And
That's so creepy.
Jenny kind of looks around, and she says, "Well, let's keep moving. There's nothing to do."
Oh, Sorellis or Jenny?
I'm sorry, Sorellis.
Jenny. Jenny's here.
Yeah. No. Yeah. So,
God.
so she.
That explains the sound.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, she moves on, and she says, "There's not much to do. Let's just keep walking." The sun continues to get darker in the forest, and she says, "In another hour we'll stop." It's still really quiet, but you hear something else.
Nothing to see here. Let's keep going.
Yeah, we should.
I'll have another look around.
I'll ask Sorellis, is this normal?
She says the forest is an extremely strange place, and this is why I warn people not to come in here. You never know what you're going to run into.
Anyone got a box of matches?
No matches. We love the forest. We are the friends.
Yeah.
So you walk approximately another hour, and she leads you to a small stream, and she says, "This is good water. It's getting dark. It's been a long journey, and we should camp here."
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, I suck at perception checks.
We should leave the forest, sleep, and then come back.
Yeah, there you go. So she kindles a small fire. She seems very adept at that. She says, "Well,
We should take shifts so we don't get ambushed.
I'll stay middle shift. I can see very well in the dark.
Yeah, I'll do the one after that.
I'll do the one right before it.
okay." The night settles in. You've eaten. The first watch goes more or less uneventfully, except noises in the forest just outside of the ring of the fire. Don't really see anything, but you just hear some weird noises. Second shift comes along. The wind picks up again in the forest. It's been gone for quite a while. Wind, and you can tell it's raining overhead. And
I pull out my crossbow and look around.
sadly, nothing you can see is within range of the fire, but you do hear things shambling around in the darkness.
I walk out into the darkness. I've got 120-foot dark vision.
And you look all around, and you see absolutely nothing.
I'll just call out, hello?
And in response, way off in the distance,
This isn't creepy at all. Things like that happen in the Underdark all the time.
Okay, so the night, aside from a few of these things, passes more or less uneventfully. You wake up in the morning, and Brandon, you open your eyes and kind of feel something on your head, and there's a ring of flowers shaped in a crown atop your head. Delg and Grenlock, you look over at your packs, and they're absolutely stuffed to the brim with berries. Grelnock, you look and you feel a lump in your pocket, and there are two very fine, tiny, ornately carved bone dice in your pocket that weren't there before. Helos, there's a teeny tiny little flute, very ornately carved on top of your pack. And Brickers,
Thank you.
you look over at your pack, and there's a tiny little green hat with a yellow felt brim.
I put it on.
It doesn't fit. It's like the size of your pinky.
Oh.
So does that count? Did that count as a long rest?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sweet.
So you guys had a long rest.
It was Grelnock that got the bone dice.
Yep.
Brandon would look over at Grelnock, and because bone dice is his specialty, so he would look over at Grelnock and say, "You want to trade?"
No, these are my dice.
I'll play little ditty on my flute.
Yep. You hear a little tune, and Sorella says, if you guys are done having your fun, you should
Yes, let's.
Okay.
Fun.
so you set off, and
Scary as shit.
most of the day is more or less uneventful. However, about midday, the wind and the storm really starts blowing overhead, just like crazy blowing. There's lightning cracks and all these sorts of things that happen, but none of the rain, besides just a few drops here and there, make it down to the forest floor.
I'd like to ask Sorellis, is there some place in particular that we're going, or are we just walking into the woods?
She says the first place to go is to Greenhall, and you guys have been talking to her for a couple of days now, and it's become, she said it like numerous times, that when you interact with the elves or any other creatures that you can talk with in the forest, that it's probably best to try to do so peacefully at almost all costs. She said that most of the actual humanoid type creatures in here are peaceful. They just don't really want you around. The first thing we need to do is go to Greenhall and make some sort of a arrangement with them that will allow us to stay here.
I'm guessing they already know we're here.
She says it's very possible. The forests have eyes.
Is there any topic in particular that would set the elves on edge?
Well, she says that it's very likely that they're not going to be super happy that you're here in the first place, and it would be very wise to have a good explanation of why you're there. And she just says, just do your best to do everything to avoid any kind of combat with them if you want any hope of restoring the pact and any help from them at all. And the day progresses. You're harassed occasionally by a squirrel or a crow, but this is pretty much few and far between. There aren't as many animals here as you would expect. You see who has some decent survival skill.
I am proficient in survival.
Okay, so as you're walking along, you guys are on a path. It's a faint path, but at one point in the path kind of widens out, and it's kind of a sandy area. And Grelnock, you notice the paw print of a very large cat in the sand. And
It's a cat!
You see several more very, very large paw prints, and scattered about the place are a few bones of some animals. There even appears to be something that appears to be like a human pelvis.
Can I look around to see if I can see those cats?
Sure. You don't. You look around pretty carefully, and you don't see any evidence of cats actually being present where you're at.
Could a medical check determine how long approximately those bones have been there?
Well, they're. You wouldn't really need a medical check. They're bleached old bones that have been weathered for quite a while. There are big claw marks in them and teeth marks. Some of the bones have been split open to extract marrow.
Oh, because that's not odd at all.
Yep.
Let's ready my shield and weapon.
Okay. And just in the distance, out of vision, but you hear again, and you also hear coming from the opposite direction. And it more or less fades away, and Jenny gets kind of a spooked look in her eye, and she says, I'd suggest that we be moving on.
I think you're correct in your assessment.
Yeah.
Good call.
Okay. You guys move along, travel another couple hours, and she comes to another point kind of on the edge of some hills. The terrain's a little rockier here, a little bit rougher. Occasionally you'll see some big boulders by the side of the trail, and she stops at a place where there's a rock cliff with a stream running by it, and in the base of the rock cliff there's a shelf that would give you some shelter at night. She says, this is a good campsite. I think we should stop.
Okay.
And as she says that, the dark falls.
So, friends, what I wouldn't give for a bandit ambush right now, because that's far less scarier.
Okay. So you guys assign watches. It's not super important who's in which watch, so I won't belabor it. First watch goes uneventfully. Second watch, Grelnock was on, and he hears it kind of flies overhead. And after you hear that, you see Brandon kind of float up off the ground. He's still asleep. He kind of floats up slowly off the ground.
How high does he go?
Oh, he's about 5 feet. And he's floating off slowly towards the edge of the forest.
No. I'll go chase him. Like grab on, like your feet are like dragging in the door. Like,
So as soon as you grab him, he wakes up and he falls the 5 feet to the ground and boom, kind of a rude awakening. But is largely unhurt by. And managed to get him tucked back in.
like nail him to the ground.
Yeah, managed to get him tucked back in and consoled. You know, it's hard on a young fighter when that happens. And the rest of the night goes uneventfully, except just before dawn. And let's see. Yeah, the night was uneventful except you were floating away. Never mind that. Doctor's orders and such. So this morning, Brandon, you wake up, you've got a little bump on your head. You go to stand up, take a step, and your boots are tied together, so you trip again and bump the other side of your head.
Man.
Delg, you were awoken by the sting of thousands of ants. Your pack and bedroll had been coated with honey, and these ants got up all in your business and started stinging the hell out of you.
Who the hell is doing this to us?
Well, Grelnok,
They were nice at first. They gave me dice and
you open your eyes, Grelnok, and standing right next to your face, right when you open your eyes, is a little stick figure. There's
little doll.
It's a little gnome. Stick gnome, and somebody went to the trouble of like painting like a little red pointy hat on it with a little blue coat and pants. Sadly,
See?
however, there is blood all over it, and it does look a lot like you. Same thing Brickers happened to you. Like,
Good God.
What evil magic is this?
Helos, you're fond of sleeping with your boots off. You go to put on your boots, and there's stinging nettles in your boots. So you've got. And
My tootsies!
Sorella says, "Okay, clearly somebody's playing tricks on us." And she looks to you for a suggestion.
Who might it be? Jenny?
You're familiar with these woods, not us.
She says, "If Jenny was playing tricks on us, you'd all be dead. These are, if I had to guess, I'd say it's pixies."
Oh, you silly pixies.
Can I do an inside check on this half elf?
Sure.
What is that? Insight is wisdom. No, nothing to see here.
Yeah, so far she's been pretty truthful and straightforward with you. There's really nothing in her demeanor that would suggest that she's up to monkey business. She suggests, she relates a story that when she was younger, her and her father went in the forest and had similar tricks pulled on them. Her father was actually an elf, and what he did was ask politely for the pixies to come out of hiding.
And I will call out, little pixies, we mean you no harm. Please, come speak with us.
Does anybody speak Elvish or Sylvan?
No.
Let me have a look. What languages have I got? I don't think I do.
Okay.
Skills background.
You got those bone dice, don't you?
Skills background.
Which are probably made of somebody's hip bone.
No. No, common, undercommon, gnomish, thieves can't, primordial, and dwarven.
Okay. Well, she suggests that sometimes pixies will respond to a gift, and even if they can't speak your language, I could entreat with them if you could convince them to come out. So if you want to do that, anyone who wants to try can make a persuasion check.
Do we know what pixies like?
She says mostly pixies are harmless. They just pull tricks. They're pranksters. They won't hurt you. They just bedevil you until they drive you nuts, unless you make some sort of a peace with them.
I don't know what kind of. Can I make a history check or a nature check or something to see what kind of gifts a pixie would appreciate?
You wouldn't need to, because the kinds of gifts that they would appreciate have been showered on you thus far.
I rolled an 18 persuasion.
Okay, so Helos,
I draw in the sand a little picture of me and a heart and a pixie.
okay, so just about 3 feet in front of your face, you see a 6-inch tall winged humanoid creature that's glowing and has little glitter and things coming from there pop into existence and start speaking a language that you don't understand. However, Sorellus runs up and says, "Ooh, amazing. I've never actually seen one. What do you want to ask?"
Why are they playing tricks on us?
They say, because pixies play tricks, and we thought you'd appreciate them. But the elves, it's been so long since anybody has appreciated our tricks. The elves of Greenhall don't like our tricks, so we don't really go there anymore.
What about the bloodied stick figures?
Well, you guys didn't give us any gifts the next morning, and so, it's just a trick. We didn't hurt you. We just, we like to craft things and such like this.
Didn't hurt.
I appreciate that.
Stumped the shit out of me.
And she says, well, about 10 days ago, a whole group of men came in the forest, and they were nice like you guys, and I spoke to them, and they said they were looking for Halvin. I don't know what a Halvin is, but when they described him, it matched somebody that came through earlier, and he killed some elves.
Where did they go?
They went north. We haven't seen him since.
Do you know where Jenny Greenteeth is?
The pixies all kind of shudder, and one of them poofs out of existence and slowly kind of comes back into existence and says that they live in fear of the old woman. She eats any pixies she catches, and she decorates the cottage with her wings. They really don't like her.
What about those cats that we saw, the traces? What are those creatures?
She says, the pixie says, big beasts, big cats with tentacles. They're mean to pixies.
Cats with tentacles?
Son of a bitch.
It's a sci-fi movie.
So, what if we were to
Tentacat.
with your hag problem?
They say it's no problem. We just stay away from there. But if you were to make her go away, it would make us be very happy. Or at least tell her to leave us alone. Stop capturing us.
What does she capture you for?
To eat us. And she likes our wings. She puts them on the window because when you put our wings on the window, it makes like a prism.
That's horrible.
That's pretty mean.
Is there anything we could do or you could help us with to protect us against the hag?
They kind of look at themselves and they kind of go back and forth and they're talking and they say, well, we can stop playing so many tricks on you, at least at night, so that you get better sleep, but we don't really have any magic to help you or anything else.
Well, thank you for the gifts the first night. We appreciate them.
And they all of a sudden, they say, well, have a good time. And they kind of fade out of existence, and you hear some kind of tittering laughter fading off into the forest. And
Shall we
Sorella
press
says,
on?
well, at least they'll leave us alone now. And you guys set off, and about 9 in the morning, 9-ish in the morning. Let's see. Gotta make some adjustments here. Yeah, it's making me hungry for Indian food. So, again, you can zoom out and stuff by holding Alt and using your middle mouse wheel. You smell it before you see it. Rounding a bend in the path, you find the body of a human male lying face down in the dirt with a dozen arrows embedded in his back. As you approach, a black cloud of flies takes flight, filling the air with the drone of their wings. His clothes are simple and homespun. He holds a strung short bow, and a shabby longsword is sheathed at his hips. He also wears a satchel slung over his shoulder, the flap buckled and closed.
Is there anything inside the satchel?
Let's see. So you kind of investigate, look at the body. There's inside the satchel. There's 10 days of trail rations, a dagger, 10 arrows, and there's a pretty big ruby that you'd estimate worth about 40 gold pieces. There's a crude map of the area, and there's a map to Greenhall north, and it looks like on the map it's about another half day's north of here.
Is there anything else on him?
You turn the body over and kind of look. Looks to be about 2 weeks dead, and you hear kind of a crashing sound as boom, right in the middle of the group, a very large cat with tentacles coming out of its back.
Oh, shit.
Oh, fuck.
To the north, another very large cat plops down, and
Nice kitty.
roll initiative.
I rolled a 1 plus my 3 is 4.
Okay. Delg.
15.
Okay. Looks like Grelnock got a
17.
Yep. Helos, how'd you do?
12.
And Rickers.
Hang on. Five.
5. Okay. Okay, so actually the first to act is going to be Grelnock.
Alright. So I will whip at the cat
Unfurling
that
his
is
whip.
next to me. Mm-hmm.
Whip it good.
Huge one, huge whip.
Dun, 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 dun. I miss.
And sadly, the whip gets tangled around your leg and like
Huh. Good times. Good times.
Anything else?
Nope.
Okay. Next to act is Delg.
Okay, I'm going to the one north of me. Mess.
Okay. Anything else?
And then I'm going to. Nope, nothing else.
Okay. Next, the Displacer Beast by Delg. Decides to take its tentacles that are hanging out of its back, and it whips them back and forth, and it swings them at Delg.
Shield.
Both of them slam into the ground harmlessly next to you.
I'm gonna counterattack with Repetos.
Okay. You would roll at a disadvantage, actually. Displacer beasts have this thing where it looks like they're in one place, but they're actually in another. So repeat the roll, yeah. And with disadvantage, it looked like you hit it, but you didn't. It whiffed.
What the hell are these things?
Yeah. Next to act is Helos.
Alrighty, I will cast Bless
Okay.
on Z. I guess Brickers, Gronok, and Brandon, since I shielded Delk last fight. So
Thank you.
Thank you.
What does that do again? Can you remind me, please?
yeah, you can add 1d4 to your attack and or saving throws.
Okay.
And then, is it possible to take cover in these woods?
You could duck behind a tree and get half cover.
Okay, I would do that because I have to concentrate on Bless.
Does Bless also affect skill checks?
Yes.
Cool.
I don't think so. I think it's just
Yes.
attack and saving throws.
Attack, saving throws, and ability checks.
Oh, is
Oh, cool.
it? Okay. Cool.
The southernmost Displacer Beast whirls on Brandon, growls menacingly, and whips its tentacles back and forth in the air, slamming one of them into poor Brandon. And this is going to hurt, so I better roll it. Let's see here. So you would take, let's see, 13 bludgeoning damage.
That takes me unconscious. I'm out again.
And an additional 4 piercing damage from the little points on these tentacle things.
Okay. So you see me fall back and slump down.
Okay. You guys saw like this tentacle whip over the top of his back and sink into it and pull off a huge hunk of flesh. Next to act is Brickers.
Okay, can I cast? Let me just see this. This spell to create like a bunch of stones around where I am and hide inside them.
Yes, I'll allow it. Go ahead.
Nice.
Okay, so I do that, and I get advantage on stealth checks when I'm in rocky terrain. Would that count here?
Yeah, that would count.
Okay, so I am gonna use bonus action from my class ability and roll stealth.
Okay. Oh yeah, you're good enough. Yeah, their perception is only 11. So, good enough. You doing anything else this turn?
No. It was standard action to cast the spell, bonus action to stealth.
Okay, Brandon, make a death save.
Okay. 10.
You're good enough.
Okay.
So no tears. One success. You're not dead. Don't worry, the DM is on your side. Next act is Grelnock.
I don't have anybody next to him anymore. So I will. What to do? I'll just move here, and actually, I'll just stay where I am. I will attack him.
The displacer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Swing away at disadvantage.
Oh, miss.
Okay. Anything else?
No.
Okay. Next act is Delg.
I'm
So sadly, efforts with Warhammer fail at anything except kicking up a bunch of dust and dirt around the cat's paws.
good.
You gonna do anything else?
Use my action surge for another attack.
Okay. Sadly, crit, which missed.
Oh.
Okay, next to act is this displacer beast that's up by Delg. You see from the forest an arrow thump into the southern displacer beast.
Gray.
From obviously from the elf, and what that means is that until the end of his next turn, you don't roll with disadvantage because it's been hit. Okay, so the one that's on Delg, however, swings with its two tentacles and was a 14 and a 17.
Miss.
Okay.
And then I'm going to use my replicas to attack.
Okay.
It's a miss.
Okay. No, yeah, because yours has yours still has the displacement going. Next to act is Helos.
I will cast Cure Wounds on Brandon.
Hooray!
Get him 13 hit points back.
Okay, thank you.
Sure enough. And then I'll go back to hiding. Back in my shrub.
Next to act, let's see. The displacer beast to the south sees a tasty snack pop up right in front of him, and
Oh,
swings
no.
his tentacles again at Brandon for a 19 and a 19.
They both hit.
Okay. I better roll these. So you take a total of 7 bludgeoning damage and 3 piercing damage.
Okay, I'm still up, but you can tell I'm pretty weak.
You actually got lucky with those rolls. The thing tears off big hunks of flesh and pulls it into its mouth. Next to act is Brickers.
Okay, I am going to shoot at the northern one
Okay.
with my light crossbow.
Okay. And even at disadvantage, it's a hit, and he.
It was with advantage. It didn't have the aura you said.
Oh, the northern one?
Yeah.
I thought it was the southern one.
The southern one got shot with the arrow.
Yeah.
Oh,
And it
was
was
it
the one that, yeah.
But even.
Okay,
but now he's shot. The northern one is actually shot too, because he hit with the arrow, even with the disadvantage. So it does 11 damage. I take it.
Yeah.
Okay, so it is no longer being displaced.
Ignore that ping.
Next to act is
Oh, and bonus action to stealth. Sorry.
okay, no problem.
Gotta
Gotta beat an 11 is all. Good enough. Next to act is Brandon.
Okay, do I have to make a save to get away from since he's got me with one of his tentacles, or do I can
No, he
just take an action?
He doesn't have you with his tentacles. He just tore flesh off and ate it. So
Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to use disengage then, and I'm going to move probably 15, 20 foot back behind Helos,
Okay. All right.
and that'll be my turn.
Okay. Next to act is Grelnock.
Alright. Brandon ran away?
Yeah,
Yes, I
you
did.
saw him tear off down the trail.
Randy ran away. Oh, Tracer Brendan.
Monty Python reference there.
Not a whole lot I can do, so I'll just try and keep him occupied.
Which one?
The southern one.
Okay. And that's
So,
a
yeah.
hit.
So he takes 8 damage.
Ouch.
8 slashing damage.
Yep, and he's no longer able to displace until the end of his next turn. Okay.
That was without sneak attack, just because nobody's there. I am done.
Okay. Next to act is going to be Delg.
And this one's not displaced anymore.
Nope. It's a hit.
For 6 points of damage.
Okay. Gonna do anything else?
That's it.
Okay. Next to act is Helos.
Okay. Can I move over to this brush and attack still with the half coverage?
At the end
Or
of
no?
your turn, you could have half coverage if you
Okay.
went back behind a tree.
Okay.
But yeah,
Alrighty.
you can certainly move and then attack.
And then finish my move over in the shrubs. All right, I will do that. And I miss the displacer beast.
Okay.
And I was swinging a mace, by the way. But
Yeah, it was a
whatever
mighty
it was, I
effort.
missed with it. Yeah.
Mighty
So,
effort.
yeah. All right. So
Step
back into the shrubs.
Okay. So you have half cover, so you'd add 2
Two.
to your AC.
Yep.
Next to act is this displacer beast. He was not unimpressed. Cat is unimpressed by the mace whip turns instead on Grenlock.
No!
Grelnock. Tasty treat, little gnomish
I
thing with a whip.
do not taste good. I do not taste good.
And
Like,
swings both of its tentacles, 17 and 18 to hit.
yep,
Both of them or just one?
both.
Okay, so tentacle number 1 does 7 bludgeoning plus 3 piercing for 10. Tentacle number 2 does 7 bludgeoning plus 3 piercing for 10.
I go down.
Okay. Sadly, Grelnock falls, and the cat eats a big piece of his buttock.
Now he learns how bad I taste. I don't taste good.
Right. An additional 2 arrows slam into the one that just savaged poor Grelnock, and he appears to be bleeding from those wounds. Seems very effective from your elven friend. Next to act is Brickers.
Okay, so I shoot again at the same one I shot before.
The southern one? Or no, the northern one you shot.
Northern, no.
Yep.
Okay.
Hit.
Yeah, so that's 16 points of damage.
Okay. This arrow just slams into this poor beast. How dare you? And
And bonus action to stealth.
okay. And appears to have had great effect on the beast. And the beast charges off into the forest down a path and disappears. Still alive, but leaves a little blood trail, crashes through, parting the bushes. This is a big thing. Let's see, that was... now it's Brandon's turn.
Okay, I'm gonna do what I do best and take out my longbow and shoot this other one.
Okay.
Let's see, it'll be 24 versus AC.
Hit.
Be 9 piercing.
Okay. And
I'm gonna.
Yep.
I'm also gonna use a bonus action to use my second wind to regain some HP, and I'll roll those.
Okay.
I got a 7 plus level, be 8 points back.
Okay. That beast sneaks off again down kind of the same path, creating a big, huge, wide swath of destruction through the forest to the east. And you're out of initiative.
Let's go stabilize. Bring back up Grenlock.
Okay. This happens. Grelnock pops up with 1 hit point.
I got healed.
Yeah, they stabilized you. I'm just gonna allow it. There's no.
Okay.
Eventually, it would happen anyway. So.
I'm gonna use my second wind then.
Grelnock, what level are you?
2.
Okay, because I can use my healing kit to give you 9 hit points back.
That would put me at 1 below max, so that would be awesome.
Okay. And the half-elf emerges from the woods, gathers a couple arrows that she missed with, and says, "Boy, that was a close one. I fear that the displacer beasts will not leave us alone."
How do
Do you want us to hunt them down?
She says, "Well, if we don't deal with them ourselves, they will be back. Probably stronger."
Let's hunt them down.
Brandon, I'll give you some hit points as well from the healing kit.
Yeah, I only need 2 more to get to max, so whatever you can do.
Okay. Well, yeah, you got all 2 of them.
Okay.
think she knows about these?
Okay. Say that again.
while we're going to hunt them down, can she tell us what she knows about these beasts?
She says that these are predatory beasts that tend to live in pairs, male, female, and they almost always have a den. They're ambush hunters. They're attack and withdraw hunters, and it's likely that they've been hunting this trail for some time, and she puts 2 and 2 together and thinks that they must have ambushed a party south some time ago, hence the bones and all the cat tracks. But she,
Do they both?
Mhm.
Oh, go ahead.
She theorizes that when they were injured, they probably made towards the direction of their den, and that they might have a den nearby.
Let's hunt us some kitty cats.
They both went in the same direction. I mean, they.
Yep, down almost an identical path, and it seems to be easy to follow. I mean, these are big things,
Okay.
and there's blood, lots of it. So you guys continue along the trail and follow it. You get to a point where there's the path.
Additional party members.
The path is fairly steep. You're kind of going up a hill, and it's you're going up a draw in the hill, so a place where water might have run down. If there's some sort of a torrential downpour, so that the sides are steep, covered with rocks, and would be considered difficult terrain to go off of the path that you're currently on. And you get probably 100 feet into the forest. You might want to arrange yourselves in your marching order, however you would normally march. Okay, and boom, just out of the beasts drop again. These are the same ones. They do appear to be hurt, and they're snarling and growling. And unless you guys have objections, I'll use your same initiative rolls from last time.
It works for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
First to act is Grelnock. Grelnock.
Grelnock will whip the displacer beast. Whoosh. And get a 17
That's
AC
a hit.
for 12 damage.
Okay. And this whip, you guys had no idea what a gnome whip can do to flesh. I mean, it literally almost tears like the cat's little poor tail off. In fact, it bends, and it goes meow like that, and there's a bend in its tail, and like a single tear goes down its cat cheek.
No.
Yep.
Oh,
Next act is Delg.
I'm gonna attack the same cat right there.
Okay.
And this is without disadvantage?
Yep.
Or
Just a normal attack roll.
15 hit?
Yes, it hits.
Or 8 points of damage to the kitty's
Yeah.
freaking ass.
And your big, huge warhammer slams into the cat's butt. You hear the crunch of bones, and it lets out a single final gasp and mew, and expires.
Bad kitty.
Yeah. I told you not to be a bad kitty! Next to act, this displacer beast, seeing its companion fall, roars and swings 2 tentacles at poor Brandon. And critically misses one and hits a 14 on the other. Is that good enough?
14 just barely hits.
Okay. So
Brandon, are you carrying tuna in your pocket?
so it does, let's see, 9 bludgeoning and 6 piercing damage.
Ouch.
That's gonna knock me down again. I'm down to
Damn.
Well, the good news is that you'll probably get enough experience from this one adventure to level. So Don't cry too much.
No, I'm not.
So when he falls down, does tuna kind of fall out of his pack?
Yeah, you notice like a fish, a little sardine falls out of his pack, and just then a crow swoops down out of the tree and picks up the sardine and carries it off very happily.
Those pixies trolled us.
Yeah. Next to act is Helos.
All right. Well, I'm going to go with Cure Wounds on Brandon. And the results. Gives him 12 hit points back.
Okay, I'm back at max then. Thanks.
He pops up.
No problem. And then that's my last spell.
Okay. Next to act would have been the dead cat, but sadly, next to act after that is Brickers.
Okay, can I hide between the stones to use it as cover and then shoot at the thing?
You would have to travel up into the woods to be able to do that. It's pretty exposed right here.
Okay, okay,
It's
never
possible.
mind.
You can certainly do that. You can just travel up 10 feet.
No, that's fine. I'll just shoot at the thing.
Okay.
So Bless is already expired, is it? Because that was just 1 minute from last combat.
It would have been. It would
Yep,
have been
okay.
a minute.
Oh!
You hear a twang, and the arrow just plops down right in front of Bricker's feet. Next to act is Brandon. You see this cat in front of you.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Let's see. Being shaken up again, I'm gonna use disengage and go back to the wood line right here.
Okay. As you're climbing up in the rocks, I need you to make a either whatever strength ability or dexterity ability is best for you.
Yeah, it'll be Dex then. Okay. 16.
Good enough. Some rocks skitter around your feet, but you quickly catch yourself, and there's no issue.
Okay.
Okay, so then Grelnock has an opportunity to shine here.
Grelnock will move up. Just out of range. Actually...
Yeah, you're moving in difficult terrain there, so I'll need you to do a dex or strength ability.
I'll just move here then.
Okay.
I'll just move up a little bit.
Okay.
Bam! So 17 would be the low attack for
Hit.
14 more damage.
Okay, what weapon were you using? Oh, your whip.
Whip.
Yeah, so this thing just savagely tears into this poor kitty. And it's
I don't feel bad at all.
mewling and stuff.
Nope.
Wah.
Nope.
Next to act is Delg.
No, kitty, this is my pot pie.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm gonna do an attack, and then if it succeeds, I'm gonna push it.
Nice.
Nice!
Huzzah!
Okay.
Then I'm push it back 5 feet.
Okay. What's your damage?
Gonna roll another d8. And don't roll a 1 on it this time.
The damage was 4 total.
Okay.
No, that's-
Crit.
Yeah,
Crit.
that's
So
crit.
you do another d8.
Nine total.
Okay. This
2.
the
No,
hammer whip combo seems to be very effective, and
I did that wrong.
the cat expires. The trail continues a short distance to the east, and you see at the base of a what appears to be a tall cliff, you see a cave there.
I guess I can go in.
Okay, so you go in, and These displacer beasts had been prowling the area for quite some time because they had a pretty big hoard of treasure in there. You found 200 gold pieces and coins.
Nice.
Huzzah!
There's a kind of an ornamented chain shirt that it's not armor, it's like a shirt made of chain, obviously made by elves, worth about 50 gold pieces.
Nice.
And then there's a pack in there that they stole from somebody with a finely crafted ornamental dagger worth 35 gold pieces, and an additional 15 in gold coins. And I'll reiterate all of that at the end.
Nice.
What would you guys like to do?
Do we need to take rest?
Yeah.
Let's take a little rest.
I mean,
Sorella suggests a rest, but make it quick so that you can treat with the elves.
yeah. So a short rest.
Okay. Which goes uneventfully. Take the benefits from a short rest, if you would.
Bloop.
Okay. So while you guys are doing that, I'll let you know that you successfully rested. Go several more hours and it starts to get dark. And you come down a windy, curvy path. To make some adjustments here. And you enter a wide glade of surprising beauty, surrounded by a ring of tall trees. Small shelters have been built halfway up the trees, accessed by spiraling staircases that circle the thick trunks of the trees. A handful of elves meander about daily life here. Upon seeing you, some of them call out in alarm and flee into the shelters, while others grab weapons and ring around the glade, stopping just short of the fire. And one calls out in Elvish, "You should not be here. Leave this place and take your town stink with you. Do it quickly, else we will cut you down where you stand." And Sorellus translates and says she recommends that you at least attempt to talk to him.
Did they speak common?
They can understand common.
Would we be willing to offer them that chain shirt back? I mean, since it looks like it may have been one of their buddies.
Or was it one of the other group of adventurers that fell into the?
If it was elven make, it sounds like
Oh.
it. I mean, we would lose the 50 gold if they took it, but I think it's on their good side.
You would roll charisma checks at advantage if you did that. That's not in the module, but it makes sense to me.
Yeah.
By charisma,
guess
I mean persuasion.
Let's do that.
Okay, so I come forward and I say, we mean no harm. We come to find some farmers who entered the woods. We just need to find them and bring news of them back to their families.
And they are listening to what you're saying. Go ahead and make a persuasion or whatever charisma check you have with advantage.
So that's a 16.
So they seemed skeptical at first, but then invite you to sit around the fire and warm up They can see that you've got battle wounds, and they appreciated the return of the shirt. And they bring out some
right
traveling food, like trail bread and some water and things like this. And they say, "Come sit by the fire. We should at least talk."
Make sure to thank them. Thank you for your hospitality.
Oh wow, static.
Okay, so they say, "Well, what can we help you with?"
We are told that the farmers got possibly somehow entangled in with Jenny.
They said so that the lead elf, who seems to be their leader, says that some villagers came through a 10-day ago, maybe a little longer, and they'd run out of food, and they were rambling about an insane woodworker who didn't mean the elves any harm.
I don't think the woodworker was all that innocent. I showed them the diary.
And they look at it, and they say, yes, it appears he really was insane if he's going to try to treat with Jenny Greenteeth. She doesn't take kindly to uninvited guests. We never saw him. We did see the villagers, and they couldn't stay here, so we drove them away.
Where did they go?
South. But some of them scattered into the woods. One of them we left as a warning so that other people would not come here. Apparently you did not heed that message.
What warning would that have been?
Did you not come across a corpse with elven arrows in the back?
Oh yeah, we did come across.
They had no business being here.
We understand.
Yep.
We understand and we respect the pact. Unlike this woodworker who is collaborating with evil cults, and we wish only to return to the peace that was going on before and go back to supporting and bringing the pact back to make sure that everyone is safe and does as they should.
They say that is fair. Since you've returned our shirt, that was one of the treasures that we had. Since you returned that, we will let you go in peace. If you should happen to make it back to the village, tell them not to trespass anymore.
We will pass that message on to the villagers. However, we would perhaps like to re-establish the pact between the Fae, and then to do so, I think we need to contact Jenny herself.
And the elves kind of chuckle and they say, "Well, that's a fool's errand. She's extremely dangerous, but if you want to, we give you leave to go talk to her at least." And they give you some directions. They draw it in the dirt, and you could find it. They say it's about an hour to the north and west of here.
Thank you for this gift of safe passage. That is truly kind.
I wonder if they can give us any assistance with dealing with her.
They say, "We're not going to interfere in any of that. Please be on your way. You've been here long enough already. We don't mean you any harm, but we have business to be about, elven business."
Is there a place nearby where we could rest for the night?
They say not here. You can go elsewhere, but best that you leave the area. And Sorellis says, well, there is one place about a half an hour from here on the edge of Jenny Greenteeth's territory where there's fresh water where we could camp for the night.
Let's go there.
Agreed.
They say, okay, well, be on your way, warn the villagers, and
So sorry.
please do not come back.
We promise we won't.
Okay, so you guys head out. It's now getting on to night. As it turns out, did your screen switch, or did I forget to do that? Yeah, it did. Okay.
Yeah.
So you travel approximately a half an hour to the place where Sorellis recommends you camp. You camp overnight successfully, a long rest with no further issues. The night was quiet and peaceful. And the sun comes up the next morning, and surprisingly, for the first time in a long time, the wind stops blowing. And there's no weather going on above. And in fact, the sun comes up. Why is my wind not stopping?
We took a long rest, did we?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so all this happens, and you have a long rest, and we'll take just a second's break. Delg has drawn Kid Aggro. The forest comes alive with the sounds of small animals which have been absent for quite a while here. Short bio break.
Okay.
Let me get a drink.
I'm gonna try something out. Just ignore the next few rows that happen.
Okay.
Have it. That's annoying. Ah, okay. Ark.
I'm back. I'm sorry about that. I needed caffeine.
Okay, is everybody back? Brandon,
Good to go.
Delg,
Looks like Dale still has child aggro.
oh, he's back. And then I see
There he is.
Grelnock, Helos,
Yep.
and I see everybody else. Okay, so you wake up, travel for about a half an hour, and you round a bend in the path and come into a large clearing. The ever-present canopy is open here, lending you your first view of the sky in days. There's a small cottage of wood with neatly made roof of shingles and thatch, and there's moss kind of growing on it a little bit. There's an open fire pit in the center of the clearing, over which a large cooking pot hangs from a tripod of iron rods. It is bubbling and sending a delicious smelling steam into the air. The warmth and light of the fire warms you to your bones, banishing the forest's oppressive gloom.
Are there windows visible in this little cottage?
So there is a window. Also, there's a door kind of in the center, and hanging on a hook next to the door is a really kind of neat looking cloak. It's kind of shiny. It's embroidered, and there's like a delicate leaf pattern there. You see some firewood stacked to the side of the house there. There is a window, and some flickering light is shining out there, and there's some smoke coming out of the chimney. To the left side of the thing, there's a large cage suspended from an iron post jutting out of the side of the cabin. Inside there are two humans, and as you were approaching, they saw you, and they seem extremely happy to see you. But they're not speaking, they just they see you. They look happy.
Huh. You said they're humans?
Yep.
I wonder if they're from Cobble's Hill.
Are there pixie wings in the window?
Yeah, there actually are a few pixie wings pasted on the window.
sneak over to close to the fire.
Okay. Anybody else doing anything?
I will go towards the cage.
Okay. As you approach the cage, the humans in the cage are kind of motioning you to be quiet. And the door of the cottage swings open, and a rather surprised-looking elderly woman stands in the doorway, and she says, "My goodness, you gave me a start." The kind-faced woman exclaims, clutching at the front of her shirt as if she's been scared. "We certainly don't get visitors around these parts very often. Please sit down by the fire and warm yourselves."
She looks human.
Oh yes, an elderly, kind-looking woman. She has a floral print dressing gown over a apron, and her hair is tied back in a neat little bun, and there's a foot-long bone hairpin that looks really familiar.
Oh, Jesus.
She says, "Please sit. I have some food. I've just made a pot of stew."
Let's do it.
What stew is this?
She says, "Oh, it's great stuff. It's a special recipe. Really tasty."
I'll inside her.
See, 2 in the cage, 1 on the path, 1 back home, or 1 with his eyes cut out.
Bricker,
Yeah.
she seems to be telling you the truth that the stew is in fact tasty.
I haven't seen any cows lately, have I? Like in the last couple of days.
No,
In the
just
forest?
some squirrels, crows, occasional things like this.
Squirrel meat. Yeah.
Smells like
Hey,
pork.
Cal.
Are you Jenny?
She says, "Why, yes, that is me. Please, let's all enjoy a plate of stew." And she goes and dishes up a plate for herself, takes a bite, and offers one to each of you, and offers one as well to Sorellis. Sorellis accepts the plate, sits down by the fire, and takes a little tiny bite of it.
When in Rome, I guess.
Yeah.
It's all.
She doesn't look nearly as terrifying as everyone made her out to be.
I'm not going to partake. I'm going to stand off to the side.
Does it look like Sorellis and Jenny know each other?
There does appear to be a familiarity, but neither one of them is making particularly hostile things, but they don't appear to be great friends either.
So where's Sorellis in here? Does she have a token?
She's
or?
just down. Yeah, no, she's just sitting down by the fire.
I'm going to move on the opposite side of Sorellis from the
Okay,
fire.
she's sitting down here.
Okay, I'll just move over here.
Okay.
Oh, this does smell yummy, but I'm full.
It's pretty good, actually.
Yeah, it's good. There's potatoes. There's some leeks in there. There's bits of meat and things. Tastes like pork. It's well salted. Very pleasant taste. There's a little piquant aftertaste to it.
Whoa.
Oh, dearie, I'm so happy that you like my stew.
So, Jenny, how yummy are those two?
Oh, she says, "Them? Oh, there's plenty of time to talk about them later. Let's just enjoy our dinner." And she's beckoning you to take a little taste.
Say, Jenny, you wouldn't happen to have run across a dragon cultist by any chance?
Oh, you must mean
that's a good
Halvin.
question.
Yes, he did come here, but he was really rude, and he was unappreciative of my hospitality and wouldn't eat the food and all sorts of things like that. So I admit it, I killed him. He didn't have any business being here, and honestly, nobody has any business being here except the Fae.
I agree with that sentiment.
And she
And
pointedly looks at your plate. which is untouched.
I take a nibble.
Okay, and it's as good as advertised.
I'll try sleight of hand to act like I take a bite, but toss it over my shoulder.
Okay, well, you're gonna roll that.
13.
Good enough. She believes that you were eating it. It is yummy.
Nom 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 nom.
Yeah. Okay. She says, "Okay, now that everybody is enjoying their food, what should we talk about?"
Two things. First of all, we'd like to set those two free and bring them back to their families.
Okay, what's the other thing?
If at all possible, we'd like you to forget about the transgression that the cultists committed and maybe live in peace as you were with the fine people.
Yeah.
Well, what about the cult of the dragon? They're wanting me to break it, and clearly the pact has been broken by the other side already.
Well, the cult of the dragon are the ones that broke the pact.
Oh, the villagers don't belong.
Well, it sounds like the villagers were trying to explain that to come here and mend make sure that the pact remained in place.
If
Like transgressors of the cult of the dragon. They were just here to make things right, it sounded like.
Right. If the cult, if the pact is broken, then the cult may very well send all sorts of undesirables through the woods. Whereas with the pact being reinstated, we can make sure not only that the village knows to stay away from the woods again, but also that they can help prevent other people from the cult of the dragon traipsing through your woods. Which is truly the goal, when it's all said and done, is to protect your woods and respect your territory.
She seems fairly convinced. At this point, I would like everyone to roll a persuasion check with advantage.
Sweet. Where am I at?
Oh, thank God for advantage.
Yeah, really.
Whew, thank God for advantage. 16.
I got a 16.
20 modified.
Nice.
Delg, how'd you do?
With advantage. Roll again.
Good enough. Yep. who needs to roll yet?
I think everybody's rolled.
How'd
Yeah.
Milos do?
I got 16.
Okay. Well,
Oh no, that was. I'm sorry.
it counts as actually a great success.
Look at that.
You've convinced her to maintain the pact despite the actions of Halvin and the villagers. The town of Flan retains protection of the Fae, and she's so pleased that she gives you the cloak of Elvenkind that hangs from the peg near her cabin.
Oh, nice.
She also gives you a chest made of beautiful purple-hued hardwood, laden with treasure, which I'll tell you about later. And the group is free to take the remaining 2 villagers back to Cobble's Hill. And as you guys are walking over to get that, you kind of peek over the edge of the stew pot, and a head floats by.
Oh,
Records, you look on your plate, and there's very clearly a human tooth in there.
Oh, that's
But
a good thing I did. Partake.
That is the end of the adventure, and I'm going to stop the stream now. For the 2 people in the history of the world that are ever going to watch this, thanks for watching. and we'll catch you.